Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to every single one of you joining us here from Sri Lanka and also from around the world. Really happy that you guys are joining in. So today, our usual monthly town hall, we've converted it into a inter-hub town hall. Connecting the regions is our theme. And we have a lot of guest speakers today, so we are going to be running through all of them shortly. So just let me get my screen up. So once again, welcome aboard. And we have a lot of guest speakers coming in today. So just to do a little bit of an introduction, we have Lena joining us from Japan, although she's representing the Europe Hub. She's a founder of Clay Nation as well. And we have a Taichi Yokoyama joining us from Japan, also representing the Japanese hub, as well as Socius. And we have Mercy, who will be joining us as well from the Africa hub. She's the co-founder of WADA. And we have Mauro, who's joining us from LATAM. He's a LATAM hub manager and also Cardano ambassador and ICC member as well. Great to have you on board. And also we have Kula joining us from the American hub, as well as he's the founder of Oven as well. Thank you for joining us. And we have Darlington. He's the co-dreamer of Lighter Nation, so he's joining us as well as Lucas joining in also from LATAM, and he's the founder of Tokenization. So just I will give a small rundown in our local languages as well to get everybody settled in. සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක් සියලුම දෙනාට. අපේ අද ටවුන් හෝල් එකේ පොඩි වෙනසක් සිදු කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒක තමයි ලංකාව ගැන විතරක් නෙමෙයි අද කතා කරන්නේ. අපි regions ගොඩක් අපි ගැන කතා කරනවා. අපි යුරෝපය ගැන කතා කරනවා, ජපානය, අප්‍රිකාව, ලතින් ඇමරිකාව, ඇමරිකාව. මේ සියලුම regions වලින් අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා. ලෙනා අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා. යුරෝප් හබ් මැනේජර් තමයි Clay Nation කියන කම්පැනි එකේ founder. ඒ වගේම Taichi Yokoyama අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා. එයා තමයි Socius කියන කම්පැනි එකේ head of events. ඒ වගේම ජපානයේ hub එක represent කරලා තමයි එයා ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ. ඒ වගේම අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා Mercy Frodo. එයා තමයි African hub එකේ සහ WADA organization එකේ co-founder විදිහට ඉන්නේ. ඒ වගේම අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා Mauro Andrioli. එයා තමයි hub manager Latin Americano region එකේ. ඒ වගේම එයා ambassador කෙනෙක් Cardano ජාලේ. ඒ වගේම ICC member කෙනෙක්. ඒ වගේම අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා කුල්ලා. එයා තමයි North American region එකේ hub manager උතුරු ඇමරිකාවේ. ඒ වගේම ආවෙන් කියන කම්පැනි එකේ නිර්මාතෘයා. ඒ වගේම අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා ඩාර්ලින්ග්ටන් වෙල්ච්. එයා තමයි Lighter Nation කියන කම්පැනි එකේ නිර්මාතෘ. ත්‍රයත් අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා අප්‍රිකානු region එක පිළිබඳව. ඒ වගේම අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා ලූකස්. එයා තමයි Tokenization කියන සංවිධානයේ සභාපති විදිහට කටයුතු කරන්නේ. එයා ඒත් එක්කම Cardano ambassador කෙනෙක්. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් අය අපිත් එක්ක අද එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒකින්ද මේ කතා කරන්න ගොඩක් දේවල් තියෙන නිසා මම මේක ගැන පොඩ්ඩක් විස්තර කියන්න බාර දෙනවා අපේ colleague Yadurshan. Yadurshan, would you like to say a few words in Tamil as well?
Yes. So hello guys, I'm Yadurshan. So I'm going to translate it in my mother tongue Tamil. So வணக்கம் எல்லாருக்கும். இன்றைக்கு வந்து மாசி மாதத்திற்கான இன்டர்ஹப் டவுன் ஹால் வந்து எங்களுக்கு நடக்கிறது. அதாவது நாங்க இன்டர்செக்ட்ல வந்து இன்றைக்கு நாங்க பண்ண போறோம் என்னன்னா எல்லா இன்டர்ஹப்ஸையும் ஒன்று சேர்த்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஆப்பிரிக்கா, வட அமெரிக்கா, யூரோப், ஜப்பான் போன்ற பல பல நாடுகள் வந்து இன்றைக்கு அந்த இன்டர்ஹப்ல வந்து எங்களோட சேர்ந்து இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ அதுல வந்து இன்றைக்கு வந்து லென்னா வந்திருக்கிறா, அவ யூரோப்பை வந்து ரெப்ரசன்ட் பண்ணி வந்திருக்கிறா. வேற டைச்சி வேற ஜப்பான்ல இருந்து வந்திருக்கிறார். வேற மெர்சி வந்திருக்கிறார் ஆப்பிரிக்கால இருந்துகிட்டு. வேற மோரோ வந்து வந்திருக்கிறாங்க. மற்றும் குல்லா நார்த் அமெரிக்கால இருந்து வந்திருக்கிறார். வேற டார்லிங்டன் அவர் மற்றும் லூகஸ் அவங்க எல்லாரும் வந்து இப்ப எங்களோட இந்த சிறப்பு விருந்தினர்களாக எங்களோட இன்டர்ஹப் ஈவெண்ட்டுக்கு வந்து வந்திருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு நிறைய பேசுறதுக்கு, ஆனா அவங்க பேசுறது தான் இப்போதைக்கு சரியா இருக்கும் போல. ஸோ நன்றி. பேக் டு யூ காமிங்.
Thank you, Yadurshan. So with that, we will not go into too much details about the Sri Lanka Hub right now, but we'll just give you a small rundown for all of the Sri Lankan community members who are joining with us today. We're going to have a workshop series starting on the 4th of this month, which will run through the month of March up until April. We're doing this in association with the University of Ceylon. It's one of the largest universities in Sri Lanka. And we are doing it in partnership with the Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Center for the university. So we will be covering different sectors of foundational blockchain technology and the Cardano ecosystem, as well as the basics of UTXO models and smart contracts, and then building on applications on blockchain and things like that. So I'll say a few words about that to people in Sinhala as well. University of Kelani අපි workshop series එකක් පටන් ගන්න හිතලා තියෙනවා මේ මාසේ 4 වෙනිදා ඉඳලා අප්‍රේල් මාසේ වෙනකන්. ඒක අපි කරන්නේ artificial intelligence සහ data science center එකත් එක්ක අනුබද්ධිතව University of Kelani එකේ computer and technology faculty එකත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා අපි blockchain තාක්ෂණය කියන්නේ මොකක්ද, Cardano කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක ගැන සහ blockchain තාක්ෂණය තුලින් කරන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් මොනවද කියලා අපි අඳුරලා දෙන්න තමයි මේක කරගෙන යන්නේ. ඉතින් මේකේ වැඩිපුර විස්තර ඔයගලන්ට දැනගන්න පුළුවන් ඉදිරියට යනකොට. ඒ වගේම යදුර්ෂන් මේක ගැන පොඩි වචන ස්වල්පයක් කියයි.
Yes, thank you, Kavinder. இந்த அடுத்த மாசம் மார்ச் மாசம் 4ஆம் தேதியிலிருந்து ஏப்ரல் மாசம் முழுக்கவும் வந்து நாங்க வந்து கிளனிய பல்கலைக்கழகத்துல வந்து பிளாக் செயின் சம்பந்தமான வந்து ஒர்க் ஷாப்ஸ் வந்து கணக்கு செய்ய போறோம். கார்டானோண்ட என்ன, கார்டானோ பற்றின ஒரு சில பல அறிவுகள் பிளஸ் இந்த பிளாக் செயின் அறிவை பற்றி நாங்க அவங்களுக்கு வந்து விளக்க போறோம். கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 4 பட்டறைகள் வந்து நாங்க இப்போதைக்கு வந்து நாங்க முடிவு பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். ஆனா வந்து இப்ப நாங்க செய்ய போறது யார்கிட்ட அந்த ஏஐ அண்ட் டேட்டா சயின்ஸ் படிக்கிற கிளனி யூனிவர்சிட்டியில இருக்கிற மாணவர்களுக்காக நாங்க செய்ய போறோம். So yeah, thank you. Back to you, Kavinder.
Okay, since we have a lot of speakers coming up, we will start off with Lena. So I don't think Lena needs too much of an introduction. Everybody in the Cardano ecosystem knows about her too. So she is the founder CEO of Claynation and also the hub manager in Europe. So she's currently in Japan. So we have 2 Japanese people here joining us from Japan. So Lena is joining us from Japan and Taichi is joining us from Japan. So we changed the agenda a little bit to suit you guys because I know it's almost midnight there. So thank you so much for coming in, Lena. We'd love to hear about what have you guys been up to in Europe last year in terms of Intersect and Cardano, and also coming into, I know you guys personally, I know you guys have been doing a lot of work with Claynation, but the Sri Lankan community and all of the hub communities around the world would really love to know what's new with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you, firstly, for hosting me. And apologies for where I am. I actually took a train to a co-work space only to set off the alarm and have to come back here. So yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, with the last couple of months and since we launched the hub, I had hopes that we could become quite a social hub. So in the last few months, we've ran events so far in Amsterdam, in Lisbon, in London, and recently, and coming up in Brussels as well as in Paris. And so we have already started to do this social hub approach and trying to get more events, more people coming together and, you know, talking about what Intersect is doing, talking about why it's important. And I've actually met with a number of the other hub managers in various places across the world, including I've obviously met yourself, I think in Dubai last year. So something that I wanted to bring from the Claynation to the Intersect, to enrich it, was to actually reach people that maybe wouldn't already be interested in the governance side, maybe wouldn't already be interested in being active members of Intersect. I wanted to engage the NFT communities, the Discord communities, the, you know, DGens, to actually take a more active approach in that. And I think it's been quite successful. We have had members that, you know, are just people maybe with not a huge amount of ADA, maybe not even a deep interest initially in governance and even in the wider picture of Cardano, but they saw, hey, Claynation's involved. Okay, this is something maybe I should also be interested in. And we've had a few of our community members join the Intersect hubs. When we first launched, we started thinking we would just be Portugal based. And then it became quite clear, especially as I'm actually from the UK, we needed to be more Europe centric and Europe focused and, you know, meet with people in lots of different cities across Europe, not just in Lisbon, not just in Portugal. So that's been great. And our next event will be in Brussels, I believe in April, following on from Paris Blockchain Week. And our aim at these events is to bring people together that are already members, but also to onboard new members and be approachable, help them to digest this information and, you know, get to know more people like yourselves as well.
That's great, Lena. And you guys have been doing a lot of work in terms of I know that you guys will be just starting in terms of Europe and getting things going. So one of the other areas that I think you should also talk about is the new things that you've been doing in terms of Play Nation. In terms of like the production house that you guys have been doing. It's something that we're going to see a little bit more on in terms of, are we going to see something interesting coming on to Cardano as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're hoping to launch an IP studio, which will allow people to own some of their favorite characters. So one way I can put this is, if 10 years ago you had the opportunity to buy a part of Spider-Man, would you? And most people would say yes. We want to give community members the opportunity to own parts of the characters that they love, and then actually help them to succeed in comics, movies, animation series, and beyond that. And at the same time, we're also trying to expand as a creative studio that can offer support to Cardano projects, can offer support to anyone actually, and just create great content that people can digest as well. So I'm expecting and hoping to actually utilize our own studio to create awesome content for Intersect, to explain governance in a way that breaks it down for the average person as well, and just to create catchy content. I mean, we made a promo video for the Cardano Summit in Dubai. I'm hoping to do similar this year, and if anyone has any animation requirements, feel free to reach out. We really want to utilize the existing community of Play Nation as well. I mean, we have 65,000 followers at the moment, and if we can just tap into 10% of them, that would be awesome.
That's great. So I know we have a lot of speakers to get by today, so I know the community probably has a lot of questions too. We will open up the floor for questions towards the end, but if everybody has their questions, please do post them up on the chat. I think Abs has already put it through. Abs, nice to have you on board too. So if you guys have any questions for any of these speakers as we go on, please do post it on the chat, and towards the end, we will open up the floor for everybody to get on their questions too, and then we'll be more than happy to answer them. So please do put up any questions that you have in terms of Lena. If you want to ask something, now is the time to put it through until I get the setup. Oh, there's one coming in. Wait, there's someone saying, Lena, can you give us some advice for someone who might want to start an NFT project? Like what kind of things to focus on and how to market the projects, and tips from your experience?
Yeah. Okay. If as it's like quite a personal question in that sense of, I'm more than happy to reach out. I'll send you a message about this. I can definitely offer some support and advice there, and I think it is definitely a turbulent time. But I recognize it's not relevant too much to Intersect stuff, so I'll reach out to you, no problem.
That's okay. Thanks. So maybe you can reply on the chat as well. So if you have any questions, do put it through as we go on. So if you have more time, we'll come back to it too. So with that, we are moving on to Taichi Yokoyama. Taichi is the head of events at Socius and a very active member of Intersect Japan Hub, and a very close friend of mine as well. And he's doing a lot of work in Japan. I'm sure every single person in Intersect, as well as the Cardano ecosystem, knows about him too. And they're doing a brilliant event that's coming up at the end of this year, which is called the Tech for Impact. And I think if Taichi could talk a little bit about the kind of events that you guys have been doing in Socius around Japan, as well as the upcoming Tech for Impact as well, how people can be a part of it and how you can get involved.
All right, so thank you so much, Kavinda. Thank you for the invite, this wonderful opportunity. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so I just wanna go to share my screen. Okay, perfect. All right, so thank you so much. So hi everyone. So my name is Taichi Yokoyama. I'm from Japan, and I'm from Intersect Japan Hub core member, and I am working on socials, and my role is a head of events. Right, so I just wanna introduce about the Tech for Impact Summit 2025. Right, so check. First, I would like to show you the last year video. Actually, this video making the CoinCeylon team. Yeah, please check this one first.
Are you ready to embrace technology for a better world? The Tech for Impact Summit 2025 is the only event in Japan where impact meets innovation. This October, connect with 1,000 plus global changemakers, 100 startups and 60 investors. Dive into keynote speeches, exciting pitch contests, and hands-on exhibits tackling challenges in various sectors. Whether you're an impact startup, investor, policymaker, or student, this summit is your gateway to collaboration and growth. Come and join us and let's build a brighter future together. Tech for Impact Summit 2025.
Right, thank you. So thank you for making the wonderful video, Kavinda. Thank you so much. Right, so awesome. Right, so thank you. Yes, this event is Japan's only impact event in English. The last year, over 1,000 people from 58 countries joined us. And also this year, we are going to this event, the 7th of October in Tokyo. Please check your calendar as well. Right, so why join this event, Tech for Impact Summit? First, there are three big reasons to join the summit. One is to learn about new technology and innovation and meet leaders, investors, and startups. And last is to join a global network of change makers. Yes, we focus on blockchain, AI, and impact technology. You can also building strong business connection with startup investors and companies. Yes, this event is not just conference. It is a place to take action. Yes, who will attend? The last time, so up to 1,000 people is coming, and then the people is who is impact startup investors, NPO, and banks, researchers, educational industries, and many students coming also too. Yes. Then I can show you our data last year. The last year, so not Japan's only. The many foreigner is coming, the 51.7%, and then Japanese is 48.3%. That's why so many foreigners coming, and also this event is only English. That is a very, very unique the time. Yes. Also, the 66.7% is interesting about the blockchain industry. The main is for our Cardano community has a great opportunity to join this event as well. Yes, the last year, the sponsors, so many sponsors joined our event, and of course, the IOG, Intersect as well, and the Cardano Foundation, and the Rare Evo is the biggest event, the project, the university, citizen, yeah, Shibuya City as well. Yes. I would like to show to how we can collaborate. It's a very important thing. This event is supported by many partners. Sponsors and partners will gain great benefits. Yes, you can see this benefit. And also we have a booth exhibition. Yeah, if you would like to come to this event, you can make a booth, and then you can see the many Japanese community member and also so many Japanese companies as well. Yes. The last thing is this event, you can talk with me, and then we can, communicate, and then how to make an impact this event together. That's why so you have many opportunity. The last things I just want to say let's bring future together, and Japan has a lot of opportunity to market, and then our socials will support your business and then connect with Cardano Japan community. That's why so last, yes. Yeah, I try to speak English, but yeah, I can show. I think you guys know my passion. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, and then see you in Japan. And also, if you are interested, please contact me. And then my Twitter account is here, and then my email is here. That's why. So yeah, see you in Japan. Thank you.
Thank you, Taichi. And it's really great that you guys are doing this. And I think in October, I hope to see most of you in Japan too. I know myself will be in Japan, and he's going to make sure that I do come. So I'll definitely be there for sure. And also, I think if we look at the X accounts these days, we are seeing that Soci is also hosting a series of events around Japan these days in Fukuoka. And do you want to say a few words about that as well? What's going on, Taichi, these days in terms of the events that you're hosting?
Yes, I'm in charge of this event. That's why. So feel free anytime. Please contact me, and then let's building on together, Cardano. Thank you.
Thanks, Taichi. So if you have any questions for Taichi, please do put them up on the chat, and he'll be more than happy to answer. And I think he put up the details about contact details as well. So please do, if you have any information that you would want, please go ahead and do that. I think, oh, there's one question there. I think there's another one that's probably not relevant, but you can mention that. But there's another one saying, hi, Taichi, as a Sri Lankan company, how do we apply if we want to get a booth space? Can you share details, please? Do you want to say something on that, Taichi, just before we move on?
Yes, of course. Please contact me. I sent this my email and address. That's why. So please contact me, and then please catch up, and then let's
Okay, that'd be
build on
great. So if you
together.
can just put up
Thank
the
you.
details on the chat as well, so we can do that. So we will move to, we have Mauro. So Mauro does not need a introduction as well, but I will be giving him one because he's a close friend of mine too, and he's been doing a lot of work in LATAM as well. We have two people coming in from Argentina today, Mauro and Lucas. I think Lucas came in and got disconnected. Hopefully we will have him back on board. So Mauro is the hub manager for LATAM, as well as a member of the ICC. So Mauro, what's been going on? I know a lot's been going on in LATAM, so please do tell the rest of the hubs as well as the Sri Lankan community as well what's been going on. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, guys. Well, first thing first, congrats, 80 people in this town hall. It's one of the most successful that I've visited in a while. My main idea here today is to share, I do a lot of stuff in Cardano, but today we will focus on the hub itself. So the contract was to bootstrap the entity when it begins, and it will be really honest to say that are things that work and things that doesn't work in this whole year. Given that it was a regional one, it was more difficult and more challenging in one steps, but I feel really happy with outcomes. My contract finished on last December, and my main idea here is to share what we learn, what it works, what it doesn't. Besides all my work on Cardano is to say, being honest with the community and say, hey, we think that it was a great tool. The entity was already bootstrapped. A lot of members now participate on Intersect, but there are a lot of stuff to do. How to make it more decentralized, how to make it better, how to allow more people to participate, right? So I will share with you my screen. This is a proposal that I sent to the membership community committee. Okay, first thing first, hola Sri Lanka. Hello Sri Lanka. Hope you are well today. Thanks for being here. The LATAM Inhabit members have more than 15 events, more than 500 members, and it's already in 5 countries. I will try to be fast. Any question will be welcome, but I don't want to be disrespectful with the rest of the speakers. We made a bunch of events, including the MMM. The MMM event is one event that the law of the United States asks to any member-based organization to make once a year. We have an event super interesting in Uruguay, which is just sharing. Intersect was part of Blockchain Rio as a sponsorship. We have a great event in Argentina with 500 people as Intersect as a member. And of course, Intersect helps a lot, you know it, in the workshops for the Cardano Constitutional Convention that I was part and willing to participate and help with my magnificent University of Buenos Aires, and it was a lovely Cardano event. So this is that was the good part. I think it was really great in my year, but there are good advantages, but a real disadvantages. This is a great map of Latin America. This is the country that there was already a hub launch, but this is the countries that we are not representing today. There's a bunch of them, even the half of the region, right? And this is something that I learned in this year that, for example, I want to eliminate the structure of country manager, having more like a regional manager elected by the people, and eliminated the face of a country manager. I think it faced competition instead of collaboration. This is we have in Brazil, for example, 200 million people, 8.5 million square kilometers, and unilaterally we decide one country manager. I think this needs to change. But at the same time, I study a lot of economics, and we know that the main principle is that the resources are not unlimited, right? And not infinite. The resources are limited. So this is the solution that I propose to the phase 2 of the hub of LATAM. This is my experience working on Catalyst as Cardano ambassador in Intersect personal one, deep funding and looking what Polkadot did. But my main idea is to have a dashboard when anyone can submit a proposal, when anyone can participate, to run a space, to run an event on Intersect in every country they want. They will be checked by a regional manager, elected by the people itself, and everyone. For example, in Argentina, everyone can submit a proposal to run an event of the hub of Argentina and to onboard new members. There is some difference, is one individual member, one vote, one enterprise states votes. This was my idea regarding the difference of prices between the memberships. And this way we avoid something that everyone always asks to Catalyst. When ADA one vote, now we can change it. Now we can say, hey, let's double check if this is a paid member, and one paid member is one vote, right? So we face in a way we can test that change we always ask to Catalyst. The main idea is also how to avoid the franchise of, for example, someone of Argentina want to do an event of Paraguay and just run an event and go again to Argentina, nothing left in Paraguay. Well, as to that people verifying documentation of their nationality or residency permit to avoid this conflict of interest. Well, the system is a monthly award budget when everyone can vote. And this is the actual today screenshot of the voting section of Intersect. We now can bring with this new way of this phase 2 of the hubs, at least for the LATAM hub, a new benefit for being a member of Intersect. You can now submit a proposal on the dashboard and vote for that proposal on the dashboard. There's new benefits. It's something that we need to promote as an MBO, right? So now everyone of Argentina can submit a proposal of running an event with the Argentina hub. If they get voted by the peers, Intersect members, he can run it. Of course, he needs the documentation of residency or permanency or nationality in the country itself. Well, that's the voting system. This is an example. For example, if there's the first month 10K and the first proposal vote for 9K and there's 1K left, you can add it in the second month, right? So the second month instead of 10K will be 11K, just to promote that community. And you can define, you can define KPIs, right? This is something that in a way I think we have an advantage. If you say, hey, for this amount of money, we are going to onboard 19 enterprise paid members, 100, 1,000, whatever you want, individual paying members, and that kind of stuff. Of course, the hub doesn't need to define. This is a responsibility of the membership committee. We don't need to define what is successful to Intersect, but if this is a KPI that we have, we can include it in this new phase, in this onboarding. So yeah, of course, if you are not part of Intersect, I invite you to sign up today. And thank you. This was just a presentation that I want to share of my experience, just to focus on the hub itself, right? To be honest, to be transparent, to say we bootstrap. I think we are ready to phase 2, and which way we need to do this phase 2. More decentralized, more transparent, better for the community itself. And I do a lot of stuff in Cardano, but the main idea of the presentation of today was this particular section, this particular Intersect, and any questions are more than welcome. And of course, now this decision resides of the membership committee. It's not a decision, this is important to say, it's not a decision that the hubs have. The membership committee will decide the future of the hub itself. So far, so good. My contract was finished. This is what I learned. This is all what we do. I think it was a lovely, great year. We onboard a lot of people that are now active members, are now part and be elected for being in some committees. And yeah, it's great to see how it grows little by little, but I think it's now to do one more step forward and improve this the best way possible.
That's great, Mauro. And thank you so much for going through the details as well and proposing that. It's really nice to see. And as you know, LATAM actually does cover quite a lot of ground as a region. And recently you were, I think, also in, you were starting, or were you in Uruguay, I think? You were.
Yes, we were in Uruguay.
Would you like to say a little bit about that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Uruguay is across Argentina, and they didn't even have a workshop for the Constitutional Convention and didn't have delegates, and they were our neighbors. So we say, hey, it will be interesting to go there and ask. We don't have a DREP that is officially from Uruguay or residents in Europe. We don't have an SPO. So let's do a temperature check. Let's go there, explain how about Cardano, Catalyst. And a lot of them get really involved. They send questions on WhatsApp, but it was to push forward, right? We have a lot of people from Latin America, but no one attends to the convention in Uruguay and don't host a workshop. So it's what I say, right? Just start turning on a sparkle on each regional community, so they have their community on their own countries. And I think this new phase, at least my idea, is a way to improve this and to allow every single country to run their hub by their culture. Everyone make fun because in Argentina, make business is really different from Japan or another part of the world. And the people that really knows best their own people is the people that is on the country, right? So I can go to El Salvador and explain them what to do. And at the same time, the resources are limited. We cannot outreach all the time in the first year of the hub. So I propose this idea to everyone can host a hub, can submit an idea if they get voted by their peers. For example, the same with the MMM, right? We have to make a decision where to do it. We decided in Mexico with a few friends that we have there, and they are really active community members. They were delegates in the constitution, but why not next year get voted by the own people of LATAM where they want to have the MMM, right? So this is some ideas. The event in Uruguay went really well. We have a great time. A lot of people get it really involved in it's the thing that I really, really enjoy of the community, being face-to-face, know the people behind the laptops, know the people that is building, know what they want to do, know what the backgrounds itself, what are their real interests. There are people that is interested in art, in a human side. That's a thing that I love most. And the Uruguay event was really great. So sorry for the rest of the speaker that I extend my presentation a lot, but I just want to share my last year experience here.
That's fine, Mauro. That's really lovely. And it's really, we appreciate the amount of work that you've been putting in as well. There's quite a lot of questions, I think, coming up on the chat. So I think you can answer that on the chat as well, or when we open up the floor. Just one, I think, which is in Sinhala, I will translate out to you. It says, Mauro, api kohamada ekka connect wenni. Basically, he's asking, how do we connect with you? So you can respond to that as well on the chat, and we'll be more than happy to answer more questions.
I'm open everywhere. You can chat with me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and if you want something more personal, I will send you my personal WhatsApp on the chat. So yeah, it's super easy to reach to me. I'm not someone special. This is my cell phone number.
Okay, he's putting all the details in there, and you guys can get in touch with him. And in Sri Lanka, X is not that popular, unfortunately, but yeah, so you can get through to him via email or something. I don't want anybody spamming him on his personal mobile number.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
so
I will
please
send
be
my email.
respectful
So
with
yeah,
that.
yeah, I will.
So
I will
with
send
that-
my email, so no one can spam me on WhatsApp. And if you are really interesting, I will send you my WhatsApp on the email. That's a good advice, Kavinda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Mauro, once again. So up next we have Kulas, the founder of Alvin, and also he's the North America's hub manager as well. So we have him on board today to talk about what's going on in North America at the Intersect Hub, as well as the kind of things that you guys been doing. And I know if you have been watching things on X or YouTube or anywhere else, you have seen that they've been doing a lot of work. And they recently had a DREP event as well. So it's very, very interesting. So I'm sure Kula has a lot to share too. So the floor is yours.
Hey, Kavinda. Hey, thanks so much for that brief introduction, and thanks for hosting this inter hub town hall. I was wondering when this was going to happen, and I was like, okay, maybe we should plan something, but you were already way ahead of it. So it's a really, really great thing that we can all come and share what's going on in different parts of the world, and come here and share that. So just wanted to say thanks for that, and hello to all the Sri Lankan community members. Thanks for letting us come into your space and share a little bit about who we are and what we're doing. Yeah, so my name is Kala. I come from a recording artist and performing artist background, so I'm a musician, but I also have a background in software. So I kind of lived in the world of peer-to-peer networks and creativity, and that led me into building community around using the internet and in-person events for my own recording art and for the community of musicians around me. And that kind of just blossomed into doing more events and more community building once I discovered Cardano and what could happen for the future. It's something that gives me incredible hope for the future. Is what everyone, especially in events like this, when we can see us all coordinating and working together in such good spirit, it gives me a lot of hope. So just wanted to say some personal things here first, but then I'll let you guys know a little bit about what's going on in North American Hub. So we are kind of the Anglo-American hub, I would say. As Mauro mentioned, they had some jurisdiction over Mexico, and so we are Canada and North America. And right now we're just about 500 members in Intersect, and so we got that, and then we were able to. We're one of the more newer hubs too. So we are just entering tomorrow. We will just be entering into our 6th month of our initial contract for 6 months. And right now everything's deliberating with budgets and things all around Intersect. It's all a buzz, and we'll see how all that works in the phase 2. Let's hope, like as Mauro mentioned, hopefully all the great ideas that everyone come together, and we can all continue the good work of the hubs. But over the last 5 months, we've done a series of events, kind of in person and virtual. We've been a part of about 10 events, 8 virtual and 2 in person. So virtual was mostly just X Spaces, and kind of inspired a little bit by this Zoom format, something that's definitely a little more personal than X. So I kind of like that. Might have to implement that ourselves. But we started off our first task was to do our AMM, as a lot of the other hub managers mentioned. We did it in Austin, Texas, where we were able to get almost board member at the time, Adam Rush, who people might know as a board member. He was there. I was also Joshua Stone of Stuff or Book.io, able to present on all that stuff, and got a lot of community out in Austin after a workshop that was being done there. So that was really fun. It was our first task to do an in-person event, and it was really, really great, and continue to do continued to do some X spaces and opened up lots of infrastructure, started to build the infrastructure essentially for the North American communication between things. So we got our Telegram and our Luma and Discord and all that stuff starting to get active and starting to pick up. Now we were able to get we got about 100 folks in our Luma. We got about 50 folks in our Telegram and about 250 in our X profile. So things are growing in North America. And then just recently, a month ago, we did kind of our biggest and most boldest event we've done yet in partnership with GM Cardano, which is run by Lloyd Duan. If people know him, Intersect, he's all around. And everybody knows maybe him from watching the Constitutional Convention and the beautiful Buenos Aires. And he was there. It was a very big role of kind of hosting and facilitating that, which is no short feat by any means. And so he was able to, we were able to work together to put on the first ever in-person DREP debate. So this was right as the hard fork was happening for DREPs to get voting power. So it was much more of a kumbaya, a little bit of DREPs kind of, there wasn't really much voting that has happened really yet. There wasn't much beef. There isn't much politics. There's not much anything. So it was just a lot of DREPs introducing themselves to the community. Maybe folks saw Crypto Crow was there. He's kind of a bigger YouTube personality, and kind of made us all laugh and had a good time. But everyone made some very poignant and good points and kind of spurred a conversation of what DREPs can be in these next epochs and throughout the governance era as it begins to turn on. And that's something that we are very passionate about. Alan, which is a company that I founded, is about experiential marketing and immersive events. So a debate of sorts in person where DREPs are able to come and kind of stand on their own 2 feet and express their ideas and in a public forum where they're allowed to deliberate with each other and have conversation with moderation and facilitating that type of more immersive and experiential aspect of what brings these in-person events so much value to, and how that value can then get disseminated into all the participants. So for that one, we were really pleased that we were able to get over 4,000 people kind of tuning in live, which was wild for us, that we were able to get that so many people were interested in seeing what the DREPs had to say. Alongside, we also had a really interesting perspective from a down in, I guess formerly down in LATAM. I know he's very into Gerson Gomez from Brazil, a former colonel. So we had a former colonel and an FBI cybersecurity expert. All these interesting DREPs coming, as well as just some simple Midwestern folks, and all different people around North America be able to present their ideas. And so we're very hopeful that that's a model that can be reused and used moving forward before every big vote, before every big contentious idea or bold statements that are going out there. We need to make sure that DREPs are fully capable of, at least in some form, and this is just one format, able to express and defend their positions. And this is kind of what a representative democracy is all about. And so we're very hopeful for the future of 2025. I'm here right in warm and sunny Colorado. It is pretty warm and sunny right now, not gonna lie. And we're here kind of representing Cardano. Alongside a few folks, we saw some of our MCC, well, soon to be MCC brethren, the Catalyst folks. Chris is here, as well as some IO folks were here. Saw Charles spoke on Monday, working with the Hedera folks, and yeah. So North America is well, Anglo America is quite a large, expansive region too. So doing even just Texas and Florida it can be 20 hours away from end to end. So it can be when you're driving. So it can be quite expansive for us to try to cover all this region. So that's why I'm very much in support of Mauro's concept of expanding the regions and having more hubs and having more coordination between different regions. And I'm sure in Southeast Asia and in the Sri Lanka surrounding area of Sri Lanka, there's tons and tons and tons of people, and there's lots of coordination that needs to happen. So really glad that we can all kind of be in this one forum together as hub managers and kind of start to communicate. And yeah, so before I continue to ramble a bit more, that's a little bit about what's going on in North America Hub. We're pretty new compared to some other hubs, and we're really excited about the progress that's been made, and looking forward to 2025, the rest of the year. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you so much, and it's really nice, and I really like the ideas that you've been pitching in as well. I think it goes alongside what Mauro was talking to, and I do strongly believe that there's a lot of regional expansion that we need to do too, especially towards Asia side as well, because I feel like there's a lot of untapped markets right now, and given the fact that Cardano is going to be spearheading all of these concepts, I think it can really work together, and I feel like this is, like you said, this is a very good starting point for the hubs to come together, the communities to come together, perhaps even at virtually and maybe as physical events too, where we can have regional events, because sometimes people might not be able to travel everywhere due to visa restrictions and things like that. Perhaps we can have different regional concepts as well. So it's really good that you're saying this as well. So thank you so much, Kula, for joining in. So if anybody has any questions, please do put it on the chat. There's one in Sinhala. I will just read it out to you. Of course, it says, "Api kamathi Amerikave hub එකේ ඉන්න අයත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න අපි කොහොමද ඒක කරන්නේ?" So what it means is we would like to connect with the people in the American hub. How do we connect? So they've just put that in there. I think the other ones, there's a few more coming in as well. So I'm sure Kula will respond to them on text. So please keep any other questions that you have. Towards the latter part, we will open up the question floor, so you can come up on stage and ask the questions if you would like to, or put it on the chat as well. So with that, I would like to move on to our next guest speaker, Darlington. So Darlington needs no introduction. He's well versed in these. He conducts one of the famous Twitter spaces up there as well. So he does a lot of work, and with Light Donation, he's building on Cardano. So today he's going to be talking about what he's been building on Cardano, and been also telling how things have been progressing, and these days what he's been involved in the Intersect aspect of things and how he's contributing to the Cardano ecosystem. So I met Darlington in person in Nairobi, and he's a really, really fun guy. So I'm hoping that I will also, along with the rest of the hub managers as well as the community members, to get you guys down to Sri Lanka as well. So Darlington, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Kavinda, and thanks everyone for being here and having me. Fun guy. That's yeah. I was you're pretty fun too. The crew that came over to the Nairobi, for both Intersect events, the workshop, some of the final workshops, and then for the Constitution, final Constitution signing among the delegates. Those guys are all just fun. But anyways, good to be here, Darlington, with wearing a few hats in the community, as probably a lot of people here. Light Donation, Co-Dreamer there, Cardano over coffee, 5 days a week, 2 hours space for you to learn or yap or vent, all of the above. And then of course I do a lot of work with WADA. I think we might hear from Mercy later. On the Kenya side of things, I am the co-chair on the MCC for Intersect. I've helped a lot with the hub activities here in Nairobi. And of course, most of you who may know me from Catalyst, maybe if you are pre-Intersect and pre-Cardano governance, do a lot of work in Catalyst there. We publish a new article every Monday on Light Donation. usually in English, and then a few days later, sometimes Swahili. And then the Spanish articles are far more lagging, but eventually they get translated to Spanish too. Yeah, so what are some things we're doing here? I originally lived full-time in the US, but these days I split my time between the US and Kenya. So I'm actually in Kenya right now, and I'm in Kenya 5 to 6 months out of the year. Sometimes longer if the US doesn't need me to be there. And part of that is because we've been trying to really establish Cardano presence here in Kenya, both from a user perspective as well as from a developer perspective, building developer capacity here in Kenya. I will come back to the developer capacity thing, but let me just share my screen real quick. I just have some cute pictures. Don't worry, shoot. Technology. I don't think it's going to let me share. Hey! Oh man, this is
You have
horrible.
permissions, right?
I think so.
Yeah, you
I
did.
think it might be a Zoom permission thing, which I won't do because that's gonna make me restart the Zoom. Well, I had some cute pictures to show you of some of the activities we've done here with Intersect, and then some of the other faces behind Lido, because people just think Lido is me. It's not just me. We were funded in Catalyst Fund 6 to build a blockchain lab here in Kenya. That's what brought me to Kenya. And that activity was mostly to build developer capacity. So train people how to build software for Cardano, how to write code for Cardano. We started with 2 people. It was mostly a rotating internship thing. But now it's a full-fledged software engineering team with smart contracts capability, front end, back end, UI, UX, 16 people here. So that's been a great success. Some of the things we've been building that you might know, since I cannot share my screen, I'm gonna drop links in the chat. The Catalyst Explorer that used to be part of Lido Nation group chat. We've been working very hard for the last 2 months to move that from Lido Nation, make it a fully open source project. I'll put the GitHub link also in the chat in a minute here. So anybody can see exactly what's happening, contribute code, or raise any issues on the GitHub if they want something done there. Along with that effort, we actually are going to start hosting weekly sessions. You can subscribe to them on Luma. Let me grab that link. It's going to be every Thursday. Hopefully at a time that works for people. I know time zone is challenging. We have 5 series the schedule. If you use that tool at all, or if you used that tool before and just you had everything was great except that one small thing, I would love to hear about it. And then if you do take a look at catalystexplorer.com, you will see it's very different than the previous tool. We're bringing in about 2 times more data than we used to have, believe it or not. And we have a long roadmap spanning the next 9 months. That includes some AI features. I know we didn't jump on the AI bandwagon last year, but I think now that we've seen how people use the tool and what questions they've been asking and things like that, I think we're primed to introduce some useful AI features to help you with Project Catalyst. The other tool we've released that the dev team has released recently that has to do with governance is 1694.io. This tool started as a 0-click place to just read the original SIP that kicked off all of the Cardano Voltaire activities, but is grown into governance tooling. There's specifically a feature on there for the DREP list, so you can go and see DREPs. I know often engaging with DREP list and stuff can be slow just because of this horrible backend DB sync that most engineering teams don't like, but we've done some tricks to make it hopefully not as slow. There's still some work to be done there. But some cool features, you can see every DREP profile and see a timeline of all of their on-chain activities. We're going to be adding some off-chain activities soon, so it's just a good way to follow a DREP and see what they're about. And then while you're on there, if a DREP does vote on something and provided a rationale, you can view that rationale text directly from the timeline without having to understand what a JSON is, which is amazing. You can delegate to a DREP directly from that page. If you connect your wallet, you can see all voting histories of all DREPs you've had ever. And so that's a good place to go and see what all of your DREPs have voted on in the past just by connecting your wallet and clicking that menu item, which is dope. And then in regards to Intersect, and what we're really trying to do this year, and I think WADA has been a great partner in this and a great risk taker with Lido. We have decided to put up some of our own cash, and the community is growing here so fast, but it is segmented because there's not a place they can go to every week. In Kenya, a lot of activity is still very much in person. Yeah, there is WhatsApp and people chat there, but if you really want people to do stuff, you have to get tea and biscuits and sit in a room and talk about it. So we're going to open a 50 to 75 person capacity space here. It will be hopefully an Intersect hub when those open up again. But it will be a place for workshops. So as people listening to this recording at other hubs wanting to collaborate or host hackathons or workshop in the Kenya region, this space will be here for people to be able to use it for that reason. It will be open 5 days a week. Anyone can walk in, learn about Cardano, learn about, what's happening. I would love some swag once this thing is open and you guys have any. And then we will try to hopefully take some notes from the great work you guys are doing here for hosting weekly town halls and monthly events. So that's all coming hopefully in the next 2 months. WADA, and like I said, WADA has been very helpful with this, putting some of that seed money in, of course, Lighter Nation, and we're chasing building downs and getting interior designers going and licenses and bureaucracy and bank accounts and all that stuff. And it's very exciting. Who knows? Maybe we would throw an opening party. And so you guys don't have to be jealous of Kavinda. You can all have the opportunity to receive that same Kenya hospitality by coming and joining the open house when the hub launches. I will stop talking now because I know we have a long guest list. Happy to connect. Lido Nation everywhere. Lido Nation, Twitter, Telegram, Discord. Obviously, I'll pay attention to the chat if you have any question. And I will see you guys online. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you so much, Charlington. Thank you so much for coming as well. And we have Mercy coming up as well. So up next, we have Lucas on board. So if you have any questions for Darlington, I know he put a bunch of links in the chat. Do check it out. And if you have any questions, please do put it up. And like he said, he's hosting a lot of Twitter spaces. So you can go and do get involved if you're on X. Up next, we have Lucas, and Lucas is Cardano ambassador, as well as he's the founder of Tokenization as well, and he's doing a lot of groundwork in Argentina. I'm sure if you were watching the Cardano Constitutional Convention, you would have seen Mauro and Lucas a lot more. So he's here today. Thank you so much for joining with
guys,
us,
can
Lucas.
you hear us?
Yes, we can. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kavinda, for inviting me here. When I saw the guest list, I felt really honored seeing all the amazing people building stuff here, and yeah, I'm just glad to be here with such amazing people. And congrats on all the work that you are doing in Sri Lanka. I think everyone in the community sees the amount of adoption you're bringing on boarding. That's huge, man. Really.
So, Lucas, I know you guys have been doing a lot of work in LATAM, and Mauro actually covered a lot of things as well. So since you're a person who's been building on Cardano as well, would you like to talk a little bit about Tokenization and what you guys are planning on doing with that as well?
Yeah, so Tokenization is the first project I ever started. If you've been here for a while, you probably heard about it, or at least or saw a logo, or maybe joining a Twitter space. First started thinking about building on blockchain. I really became obsessed with tokenization, and I imagine a future which at that point it seemed pretty far off, where everything would be tokenized, right? Identity, processes, assets, art, and everything. So I decided, hey, if I really see this is the future, right? I really see the potential. I said, I want to be ready for that future, right? I want to build for that future. And that's when I started building the concept of token allies. At first, I imagined it as a tokenization platform for companies, right? I imagine that eventually every single company in the world would need services of a company that tokenizes things. So yeah, the concept evolved. We started building token. I started to do, chart video, the whiteboard, and everything, and said, hey, if I want to build for the future, that's gonna be maybe 10 to 20.
I think
Yeah,
we
it's
lost
breaking.
it.
Hello?
I think so.
Oh,
Oh, you're
shit.
back. That's okay.
There we go.
Yeah. So,
Can
I
you
mean,
hear
if
me
you
now?
have any questions for Lucas, please do put them on the chat as well. I think he's having a little bit of a connection issue. He's been trying to join for the past half an hour or so and been faced with a lot of problems, but that's fine, Lucas. We are here. The flow is yours. We'll be having a lot of questions and answer session after this as well. So if you have any questions, please do put it on the chat so he can respond to it on the chat as well. We want everybody's input going in. So if you have any questions, please put it through. He's a person who's building a lot of things in Argentina as well. So a lot of things that he's been doing in the private sector as well as the government sector. There's a lot of things that's going on. So please do put any of your questions in the chat, and love to hear from everybody. Lucas, thank you so much for joining. So with that, we will move on to our next speaker for today. Who's someone who's supposed to go a little bit earlier. Fortunately, I think she's saying she got her alarm didn't go off. It's Mercy. So everybody knows Mercy, and she's the co-founder of WADA and also president of the Intersect Africa Hub as well. Mercy has been doing a lot of work, a lot of groundwork as well. So in the region, and if you have been in the space, you know the WADA Hub has been doing a lot of work, good work. So if you haven't, please do go check it out. Mercy, the floor is yours to talk about what has been happening in Africa and what's the plan, what's been going on in 2024, what's the plan for 2025, and what kind of adoption and what kind of projects and what kind of things you guys are planning on doing in the region.
All right. Thanks so much, Kavinda, and everyone that has made the time for this call. I do sincerely apologize. I did some stuff and then I'm like, oh, let me catch a little sleep before this, and everything went south. So I'm happy that I was able to make it, and great presentation. So basically, I don't want to take too much of the time. Basically, sometime last year, we approached Intersect and told them that we were very interested in, sort of expanding the Intersect Hub network in especially sub-Saharan Africa. And the reason for this is that when WADA started, so WADA started about it's 5 years now, actually. Yeah, about 5 years ago. what we realized was that the hub models works quite well. And why is that? Because people on the ground or leaders on the ground, even though, we look at Africa, sometimes people, look at Africa as sort of one entity of sorts. There are different cultures, even within countries, there are different, sort of understanding and how things are done and so on and so forth. And the hub model has really worked for us in the sense, and when I say us, I'm talking about WADA at this point. Because what happens is that there's a lot of coordination. Like people that know a little bit about Africa, even flights between African countries are not that easy. Travel within African countries are not very easy. I remember some of the early days of WADA, somebody said, look, these, being in Cardano and sort of the WADA hubs are actually allowing cross-country communication more than usual. So anyway, that was one of our reasons that we were very, sort of a little pushy. Nick was very graceful. He sort of saw what we'd done, and he and the team agreed that we could. Originally the idea was that it would be just one hub in Ghana because there's a large Cardano community in Ghana. So the funding was actually just for one hub in Ghana, but we did leverage on our hub network. We already have a well-established hub in DRC, Goma. They operate out of a university. Most of our hubs have physical spaces. 4 of our hubs operate out of universities. So that would be the DRC hub. In Liberia, we have a hub. Northern Ghana and also Abidjan. So anyway, we already had the DRC hub, and we really, as I said, because of the differences in sort of culture and understanding and things like that, not only did we want to do West Africa, which is Ghana, we also decided that, look, it would be good to, sort of use this funding that we've got from Intersect, split it 3 ways, have a foot in East Africa and also have a foot in Central Africa. And that is exactly what we did. We did a launch in Ghana, put in some of the our original hubs from just not Accra, but also Northern Ghana, Goma, DRC, and we did also do a launch in Kenya as well. Obviously, because the money was just supposed to be for sort of one country, it didn't stretch quite as far. So there was a launch, Darlington was very much involved in that. The only thing is that after that, there hasn't been a lot of exclusively Intersect focused activities in that sense, because the contract ended very quickly last October. We have continued to do town halls, and we are looking forward to sort of getting more funding, sort of Intersect specific funding, as Darlington said, just so we can have that space and be very intentional about the things that we want to do in every region. So far, Africa has about 5 regions, but we are only in 3. We want to create as many hubs as possible. There's been a lot of discussions how this can be done. We are definitely looking at it. What are some of the things that we did last year? We did the launches, as I said, in 3 regions of Africa, 3 countries, 4 communities. We did the AMM. We hosted that. That was really good because what happened was that even though it was a physical event in Accra, we had satellite from Goma, DRC, from Kenya, from Northern Ghana, and so on. Nick and Gemma was in Accra. We met them. It was amazing. And we had a lot of ideas. We had a lot of thoughts because we had been, seeing sort of the potential within the university network that we could really leverage. We've had a lot of approach in terms of what people wanted to do or want to do and so on and so forth. We haven't been able to do that because of the lack of sort of consistent planning, funding, and to make sure that, we are not going in and out. Because what we've realized with our experience with the hubs is that, when you go in with an initiative and you're not able to stay and be consistent, you sort of turn people away, you lose people. Yeah, you do retain people that have the resources and that are quite, self-motivated and sort of self-funding. But by and large, you sort of, should I say, spoil the market a little bit. So we want to be more consistent day in and day out, and then keep doing the things that need to be done. Because our Intersect hubs are sort of nested within our water hubs, they are continuing to do stuff, like in the Accra hub, for instance. They have their own space, they're doing some amazing stuff, and they've been getting catalyst funding and so on and so forth. So things are going on, but we are looking, now that we've gone into Voltaire, and the constitution has been adopted, and we are looking to, resource the community properly in order to get things done. We are hoping that there will be more consistency. These hubs on the ground, whether every country in the world or even regionally, or however it pans out to be, we are hoping that they will be sort of the anchors on the ground, right? Because that the people there on the ground, they are the ones that understand how Cardano can be translated to the ground. We've heard from what Darlington said, some of the things that they are building. Young people there understand the problems that are there, and that is what actually helps to bring adoption. Because, create something in Canada, maybe it works for Canadians, but it doesn't work for Ghanaians. So these are things that we've been very passionate about, and we are here for the long term. We are so glad that, like Darlington, because he's so busy, he tends to be very slippery. So I am so glad that now we are joined very, very strongly at the hip. He's not running away from us, and we are looking forward to great things. Thank you for having us, Kavinda. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mercy. Thank you so much for the amazing amount of work that you have been doing in the region as well. And I was also mentioned that she did a lot of work in terms of the Constitutional Convention in Nairobi as well. And I was there personally, and so I saw the amount of work. So really appreciate the amount of work that you're putting in, the amount of energy that you're putting into the ecosystem. So props on to you for that. So up next, since we heard about from all of the hubs, we thought instead of doing a presentation and instead of me rambling on or any one of our members rambling on for the amount of stuff that we have done, I thought we will do things a little bit differently. We thought we'll probably, since we are on course with timing, I think a little bit over, we will go through a video of the kind of stuff that we have been doing in 2024. So the community at large also get an idea about the kind of stuff that we've been doing and the kind of stuff that we're planning on doing as well. So without talking too much, I will just get on to the video. Just give me a second. I will just load it up.
So guys, as you can see, we had a very busy year for 2024. We ended with the Constitution. So I hope everyone is ready for 2025. It is going to be unbelievable. We have a lot more planned. And as you can see, everyone is here. And once again, I want to thank everyone for coming. It's Friday. I know everyone is busy, sometimes morning, evening, but I'm glad everyone is here. So I know we're running out of time. And I'm really sorry, but I'm just going to open it up a little bit more for some questions. If anyone wants to verbally ask, just raise your hand, and we'll be happy to let you come up and ask the question. Once again, guys, just keep it only to the topic, as we have no time at all. So please just raise your hand, and I'm sure someone will answer. Thank you so much.
Amy, the floor is yours.
The question was for you, Lena. I just wanted to know if, as a woman in tech, what has been your biggest challenge in the blockchain space, and if there's been any unique challenges that you'd like to tell us a little bit more about.
Sure. I mean, have been a lot of challenges. Obviously, it is a male-dominated industry, but at the same time, it's also been something that's kind of been a blessing. It's been something that's been helpful. I've been able to find others that share the same struggles, and that's been something that has actually united us, made us stronger, made us able to actually stand out and do something different and inspire others as well, which has been incredible. But also I find there have been so many male allies in the space, especially in the Cardano ecosystem. I've never actually felt more supported by men in any other job and environment that I've had, despite the normal struggles. Like, I've worked in many corporate roles in the past. I've worked at MasterCard, I've worked at BDO, and various other more corporate jobs, I guess. And, you know, those spaces were also male dominated, but I didn't find that same support network that I found in Cardano and in the Web3 space, despite, you know, as we see on Twitter every day, there's a lot of rubbish out there, and that's probably the biggest challenge is having to log on to Twitter every day. But at the same time, I think there is enough support there if you look in the right places, and also just find people that you can lean on, people that can support you and support each other is the best thing that you can do. I think there are a lot of events that are women focused, and initially I was a bit skeptical about those. I thought, oh, I don't want to go to just a women's event, because it felt like I was even scapegoating myself, putting myself into you know, that kind of mentality of like needing to be separate. But actually what's come from it is more support than I expected, and I would really recommend it as something to do to meet like-minded people.
We have Rajita. I think the floor is yours. You can go for it. Okay. And guys, you can also put in your questions in the chat if you would like to raise up any questions. And if you're too shy to come on stage, we're more than happy to take up the questions. I saw there's quite a bit of questions that came on the chat as well. If nothing has been answered or anything's not been answered, please do put it out there. And although we are running a little over time, I'm pretty sure we can take a few more. Let's see.
Hi. Sorry guys, I just had a moment with my mute button. Sorry guys. So I just have one question. So do you guys have any plans to have any in-person events where we can just get to meet the people from other country hubs as well? Because I mean, there's so many people in the call, and it's always great to meet people online. But I think it'll be great to meet everyone in person, and then, you know, get our networking on. Is there any events planning on that?
That's a really good question. I'll give my answer to that, and I'm pretty sure somebody else will have something to say. It's a brilliant question, Raj. So I think in-person events actually does a lot in terms of networking, and we saw that during the Cardano Constitutional Convention. Although we couldn't be in one place due to restrictions and visas and things like that, I think this was brought up even Mikula was talking earlier, how important it is for the regions to be empowered. So if we have regional events, I think that's something that we should definitely be looking at. And I think there are some discussions going on currently around the budgeting process where we are thinking of having certain in-person events, but I'm not sure if we do have this discussion yet in terms of having in-person hub events. That's a very good area that we can definitely look into, because when we do meet all of the people behind the the computers, like Mauro, I think was Mauro that mentioned it. It changes a lot of the things. So I think that's a really good suggestion. I think we can definitely look into that. Would anybody else like to add to that?
Yeah, it's going to be great, but now more than ever, it's time to the MCC and Intersect to decide the future of the hub itself, and also bring clarity not only to the community itself, to also the hub managers, and yeah, open the discussion to build all of these all together, because there is some not concerns but doubts of the regional manager how we'll proceed, and also at the same time with the community. So now I think it's time to open the discussion and hear from everyone what they want to see in 2025, and being able to build that up all together. And if this is a priority and our numbers are on the street, our results, you can see it, you can ask people and they will feel onboarded. I met 15 people of all these hubs that become their own DREPs. And it's great to see how we encourage governance also at the same time. But yeah, I would love to, but it's time to define altogether how the future is going to be for the hubs itself. And I see Darlington raising his hand as part of the MCC.
I was going to comment as someone who's part of the working group, and I'm posting the link to the MCC budget where the discussion is happening in the Cardano forum. If you're able to attend the working group for the hub, you definitely should, and show your support for local events, because that is a big conversation. And then also, I would love it if you can get a kudos or a question or something about local events on that forum for the MCC budget, so we get support for local events and in-person events.
Anybody else would like to add anything else, or if there were any other questions, please do reach out. I know we are keeping Lena and Taishi way past midnight, so if you do have anything interesting, please do bring it up, and if not, please do put them in the chat and they'll be more than happy to reach out. I think most of the speakers today have also shared their ideas and also their contact details as well, including Maru, I think, put his number. I don't know if they did, but there's a lot of contact information in there too. So if you want to get in touch, please do get it. If you want to get in touch, please do get in touch as well. So I'll leave it for one more minute. If there's any other person who would like to add to anything, or would like to say any other questions, please do. If not, I open the floor for speakers to say any of their closing remarks just before we close this first Inter-Hub Town Hall connecting regions.
I can jump in there real quick if you guys can still hear me. Yeah, just wanted to say thank you so much and appreciate this opportunity for us all to come together. Thanks for organizing Kavinda and the rest of the team and over there in Sri Lanka. And it's really, really great to be able to have more insight into what's going on in different parts of the world. I think it's something that is so unique about the situation that we're in right now, kind of growing as a species, a human species, into a globally aware and coordinating, having global awareness and coordination for us all to share our ideas and share our cultures together. I think that's something that moves me very deeply at my core, and really am grateful that we can share these insights, and I'll leave you all to it. Thank you so much again for the opportunity to speak, and I'll hopefully see you all in an in-person event sometime. Once all the budget hubbubs start settling down and we get the budgets, we'll all, or there's a little last kind of fun thing. Maybe we could just in the interim, we could find a little hub pen pal situation where we can find some friends from all different parts of the world, and we can match people together, and we can have some interesting collaboration in that way. That would be a fun little thing. Anyway, see you guys later.
Thanks, Koa. Anybody else would like to add any closing remarks before we close up the floor? Right. I'm assuming everybody's tired since it's Friday, and most of people, different time zone. I know Lena and Taishi would be going to sleep now. So thank you so much, guys, for coming in. once again and going through the midnight as well. And also, I would like to take this moment to thank Mauro, Mercy, Lucas, Kula, Darlington, every single one of you who's here today. And also, I see a few familiar faces on the participation list as well. I see Anna, I see Abs, I see who else do I see? I see Lawrence. Thank you so much, everybody who came in. I think it's really great that every single person from different regions is represented in some way or the other. And like Kula said, we need to do more of this, because at the end of the day, the success of Cardano is its people, not a person. It is people. So I think the next thing to Cardano should be people. So it should be something that all of us come together and build together. So that's the vision for 2025 and 2026. 2025 is going to be the most crucial year in terms of blockchain and cryptocurrencies for around the world. Every single region, there's a lot of things happening right now, and a lot of people are building. A lot of people have been building in bear markets, and now they're coming out. So with the new decentralized governance mechanism, if people here have not gotten involved in it in some form or the other, becoming a DREP, delegating to a DREP, raising governance actions, raising your voice in communications, please do that. And Intersect is there for everybody to come in. It's not just one entity. It's not everything. It's for everybody. Even if you're from any of the founding entities, IOG, CF, Emergo, or Intersect, or any other place where you have just stepped into the blockchain technologies, you're still learning. You're the first technology that you're stepping into is Cardano. This is the place to be. Come on board, get on board, and connect with every single one. And let's try and make this a better place. So with that, I would love to close the floor for today, and hope to see you guys in the next one. So take care and good night.